See Wiz in the mix doing what he always do, boy, taking it way back with that one. I was like, come on, Wiz, we had the skate ring,
Man, that was a good one.
Faster skaters on the outside, slow beginner skaters stay on the inside.
Right.
All right. Every Wednesday we do Ask the Expert here on the Kenny Smooth Morning Show, where we grab people out here in the community, bring them up here on the show, and they're the experts. They're going to come in here and give you some information about things that are going and happening here in the city. Cece Brown, who do we have?
We have Dr. Kevin Billups, the founder and medical director of the Billups Center. How are you, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Thank you for being here. This is going to be an interesting show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a urologist by training. I actually grew up in Baltimore, so I'm an East Coast person. Did my residency at Johns Hopkins, and then spent actually a fellowship at the University of Virginia, and then went off into Minneapolis, Minnesota for 25 years.
So you specialize in erectile dysfunction, low testosterone, penile curvature, or Peyronie's disease?
It's called Peyronie's disease.
Peyronie's.
I call it penile curvature. That's to keep it short. So
and male infertility.
It's a very specialized practice. So even though I'm a urology, my practice is really focused on sexual medicine.
Okay.
But what I do is probably different. Is I link some of the sexual problems, as we'll talk about, to chronic disease. So they can be early indicators of chronic disease. So there's a lot more to this than people think. It's an important part of medicine, and that's where I've limited my practice. It's more almost I describe it like gynecology for men.
Okay.
That's how I describe it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta get a male pap.
Male pap.
Too far.
No,
okay.
It's not too far. We've had a caller call in already, so we're going to play the question, and then you just ponder on it for a little bit, okay? Here we
Yes,
go.
good morning. My question is, what type of medications can a man with high blood pressure take for ED? And what would be the safest, if there's a safest drug? So I'm just trying to have sex, not trying to kill him.
All right, so you hold on to that question, Doc, and we're going to pay a couple bills. And if you got any questions you want to ask, call us 737-9292. Ask the Expert going on right now.
So the reality for that is that all of the medicines for high blood pressure can affect erectile function. There are some that are better than others, but the thing to understand is that it's really the underlying high blood pressure that damages the blood vessels, and that goes on undetected for a long time before we're treated. Now, what I would recommend is that you can go to your doctor, and for instance, certain medicines like beta blockers are worse in terms of causing erectile dysfunction than others. But you definitely want to go to your doctor and talk about could they change you to a medicine maybe that has less effect. But the other thing that you can really do is you can look at lifestyle changes and work on the underlying high blood pressure. So, for instance, make sure that you're eating right. Make sure that you're getting enough rest. Make sure that you're getting exercise. Because changing diet and exercise, you can actually improve. You can actually battle the high blood pressure that way, and a lot of times that's what's causing it. Now,
Really?
That's what's causing the erectile dysfunction.
Oh.
The common medicines that we have to treat erectile dysfunction will work. So what I don't want to happen, and I do see happen sometimes, is that a man will come in and say, I want to have sex on the weekend, so I stop taking my high blood pressure medicines. Now that makes no sense at all, because that puts you at risk for a stroke or worse. So any of the medicines can have an effect. Talk to your doctor and actually see if they can change things around, but then also work on the lifestyle factors, and that will help also.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Kevin Billups is in here giving some information. So if you got any questions, call us 737-9292. The doctor is here. 92Q, the best mix of R&B, wrapping up Beyonce. You know, she just dropped a song with Lion King. You see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
The movie comes out July 17th.
7:31 is your time right now. Cece Brown, what's the temperature?
74 in Nashville, 72 in Murfreesboro, 71 in Antioch. A high of 94 degrees today. It's going to be hot, guys.
Another hot one.
Put that cool and cucumber on.
No,
Put
Lord.
some powder deodorant.
Every Wednesday, Ask the Expert. We have Dr. Kevin Billups is in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
All right.
Now, we have had some questions for you about erectile dysfunction, of course. You had a statistic that you wanted to share about men 40 to 50 years old?
Yes. So if you're a man between the age of 40 and 50 and you have erectile dysfunction, you have a 50-fold increased risk of having a heart attack or a stroke over the next 10 years compared to a man who doesn't have that.
Why is that?
And that's an eye-opening statistic.
It is.
Erectile dysfunction is really viewed now as an early sign or symptom for being at increased risk for a number of things: heart attack, stroke, diabetes. A lot of it has to do with the size of the blood vessels. The blood vessels are smaller, but you can just think about it as I tell men.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. The blood vessels are smaller down there
Yes,
than any other place.
So the blood vessels, for instance, in the penis are smaller than the blood vessels that lead to your heart. So that's the heart attack, or the blood vessels that lead to your brain. So that could be a stroke. They're smaller, so they can block off sooner. And so if you think about it as a sign. People talk about the silent heart attack, and you don't know when you have that, and that can certainly happen. But think about this: most men know. I mean, men do know when you have erectile dysfunction, and not only do the men know, the women and their partners know.
Absolutely.
So it is not.
Women know.
They gonna tell you.
It is not a silent symptom. It's an ignored symptom, and it's a justified symptom, but it is not a silent symptom. And so the message I like to put out is, if you're having erectile dysfunction, then we can treat you, and that's fine, but you really need to get a full evaluation. You need to get a full medical evaluation because it could be a sign of other underlying things that are going on. So that's very important to have that medical evaluation, and as well as any sort of treatment.
All right, we went to the phone line. Yeah, we went to the phone lines. Got a caller here.
Yeah, I got a question, man. Ask the doctor, what can you do when you have type 2 diabetes as well as high blood pressure?
All right, Doc.
So you have the two most common things. You have diabetes, which is really the number one cause for erectile dysfunctions. I see a lot of men who have diabetes.
I wonder how many of you guys knew that, Nashville. Okay.
Up to 80% of men who have diabetes can develop erectile dysfunction. Very common. And then you have hypertension on top of that. So you have really two things going on. And so there are a couple of things. One is, a lot of times in the men with diabetes, the pills aren't as effective, so you need to do other things. But one important thing men with diabetes can do is control your blood sugar. All my patients with diabetes know about the hemoglobin A1C. That's a marker for your long-term control of blood sugar.
Okay.
And what I tell them is, the higher your hemoglobin A1C is, the lower your penis is going to be. So if you don't take care of yourself, and a lot of guys will come in and their hemoglobin A1C levels will be 8, 9, 10, very high, and they're coming in with erectile dysfunction, and I tell them, well, as long as that number is high, your penis ain't going to work. And you can take a bucket load of these pills, and all you're going to do is get a headache, and it's not going to work. So you can control your type 2 diabetes, and some of that goes back to diet, exercise. Same thing with the high blood pressure. But he has two really large risk factors for erectile dysfunction. Doesn't mean we can't treat it. We can do it. This is very common.
It just has to control it.
You have to look at the whole person and control your other risk factors as well as use the medicines.
All right. Dr. Kevin Billups, urologist, is here for Ask the Expert.
If you got a question, call us 737-9292. Doc, I'm gonna play one more caller. We have one, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna answer that one. All right?
Okay.
So, what do you do when you want to be sexually active? You've done everything right. You set the mood right. You've lived right. You keep yourself up. You constantly are told that you are attractive, that you are loved, but there's never no sex. Is it stress? Is it food? Like, what is the solution? Help.
And I think this is one of those questions that a lot of women are asking because they don't go to the doctor. So they're wanting to know, what is it? I'm attractive. You say I'm attractive. You say you like me. You say you want me, but nothing. So we're going to answer that with Dr. Kevin Billups when we come back on Ask the Expert.
92Q, the best mix of R&B, rapping on some of that little sexual heat.
Perfect song.
That's perfect song for the day. I had to go and drop that on.
Yeah, they do it.
What time is it?
7:46 is your time right now. Cece Brown, what's the temperature?
It's 77, and y'all, it's 77 degrees at 7:45. So it's going to be hot today. So please get out there and hydrate yourself and make sure that you stay cool so you don't be out there passing out. And put on your DO and your baby powder up under everything you need to put it under.
All them layers.
Just to stay cool, okay?
Shout out to our sponsor before we get started.
Grand Style Homes. They're dedicated to providing buyers, sellers, or investors with the most powerful tools, information, and resources you need to find, sell, or real estate within the greater Nashville and the surrounding areas. That is Grand Style Homes.
All right, we got Dr. Kevin Billups is in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Got some great questions for you. Let's
just go ahead and get into the questions.
I want to know, I've been told that when a male cannot get an erection other than from stress, if he does drugs like cocaine, does that keep him from having to be able to perform?
Doctor?
So the answer to that is yes. The drug use certainly plays a role in that. We always ask patients that too.
Okay. All right.
All right. Next question.
Good morning. I have a question. What is the issue with having a curved penis? Like, if there's not a necessarily dysfunction issue, it's functioning, but the penis is curved. What is the cause of that, and what is the hazards behind that?
Doctor?
Yeah, the curved penis is also called Peyronie's disease, but we just call it the
so
curved
it's a
penis.
disease.
It's a condition. So it's,
Okay.
it's a name.
I know, being like,
but it's actually much more common than people think. It occurs in at least 10% of men, but it's probably underestimated.
Yeah.
It's a process where you have scar tissue form in the penis, and that can be, sometimes we can get a history of trauma. We can have vigorous intercourse. You can bend the penis the wrong way, and you actually can trigger
and
that.
And it stays there.
And men can feel a hard nodule on their penis when they come in, and you get a curvature. And the question was about function. Well, the function part is if you get a curvature that's over 30 degrees, it can interfere with intercourse. So if it curves too much, it can interfere with intercourse. It's also linked to erectile dysfunction. So you can actually have erectile dysfunction and the curvature.
And damage some of them vessels, you're saying?
Well, yeah, but it's a scar tissue formation. Bottom line is we do have good treatments for that now. So, but that you definitely need to come in and see a specialist about that.
Okay.
All right, we got another caller.
One more.
Get this one up.
Because you were talking about the topic of high blood pressure and diabetes, what would be the most preventative measure for young men to be able to prevent that? Because you don't want to be in that boat when you're 40. So
right.
What do you do? Is it diet? Is it exercise? What would he suggest that young men do to prevent that to happen when they get between 40 and 50?
Doc?
Prevention is critical. That is a great question. And you talk about diabetes and high blood pressure. What can you do to prevent it? Well, healthy eating is where it starts. We all should learn how to eat healthier at a younger age and pass that on to our family members.
Yes.
Exercise. Exercise can be as simple as just getting out and walking. You don't have to go do a hard workout in the gym. You can start out just by walking. Sleep. Getting enough sleep is critical. If you aren't getting enough sleep, that can be a problem. Hydration, just drinking plenty of water. And then certainly other lifestyle changes like not with moderation of alcohol and not smoking cigarettes. But there's a lot we can do for prevention.
All right, we got Dr. Kevin Billups is here, and if you got any questions,
answering these questions.
Hey, we got about 10 more minutes of him in here, so call us 737-9292 so we can ask the expert. 92Q, the best mix of R&B. We got Dr. Kevin Billups is in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for being here. Now, we have this information if you guys want to contact Dr. Billups, 615-551-2100, or you can email him at Kbillups, that's BILLUPS, at thebillupscenter.com. Dub?
Yeah. Oh, I got one more caller right here, Doc. Can you answer this one for me?
Sure.
Okay.
I have a question. My husband has just went through a bout with colon cancer. He had an operation in January. Everything is fine. He's clear of cancer, thank God. But lately, he has not been wanting to have sex or want to have sex and cannot seem to get an erection, or he'll get a temporary erection and it doesn't last for very long. He's not going through chemo or anything. Is there something I can do to enhance, to make him get an erection other than lingerie and foreplay or anything like that? Anything medically wrong that I need to get checked out? I just need help.
All right, Doc.
So some of the surgeries for colon cancer can trigger erectile dysfunction. He may have other things going on too. So what I would say that the best thing to do would be to get him in to get checked so we can see what other risk factors he has. And as I mentioned, the surgery could trigger that also. But get him in to be checked, and we can figure out a way to help him. I'm sure he can be helped.
All right. Thank you, Doctor, coming through.
Dr. Kevin Billups. Again, if you want his information, 615-551-2100 or Kbillups at thebillupscenter.com. And y'all, this is a serious issue, it's more serious now. I'm now listening to him. It's more serious than we thought. There's many factors that can contribute to erectile dysfunction. So make sure that you guys are getting checked. And ladies, if you're experiencing this, help your man get checked. Don't make him feel bad or anything, but just have him go and be like, baby, hey, we need to do this.
We need to get checked.
We need to get checked.
Doc, thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
All right, Sister Brown, we got to get into the top 5.
Let's do it.
Let's go.